Good evening and welcome to the Charlie Rose Show. I'm Charlie Rose and I'm very pleased and honored to have two very distinguished authors with us tonight. I'd like to introduce them to you guys in just a minute.
Hi Charlie.
Good evening.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming on the show. Alright, just so the viewers at home know, why don't you guys just do a brief introduction of yourselves?
Well, I am Phyllis Naylor, the
Great. And you?
newest book, Shiloh.
Great. And you?
I am Walter Moore, and I wrote the book Gentle Ben.
Great, great. Now, Phyllis, do you want to give me a brief summary of your book?
Well, Marty, my main character, he was walking home one day, like he was hunting, and he noticed behind him that there was a mysterious dog following him. So he follows him home, he brings him home and keeps him a secret from his parents and hides him up on the hill. And one day he gets attacked by a German Shepherd, Shiloh, the dog. He gets attacked by a German Shepherd, and his dad hears of him, and so he goes up on the hill, and they have to fix Shiloh up and stuff. Then they fix him up, and Judge Travers finds out they had the dog, so he takes them back to his house, and Marty has to find a solution of how he can get the dog back and keep him.
Great, great. And how about you, Walt?
My story is about a boy named Mark, and he comes across a bear every day after school, and he meets the bear up in a shed, and his neighbor owns the bear, sort of like Phyllis's
Shiloh
book.
and Judd.
Yeah. Well, so he has to pay off to get Ben, and near the end.
Oh, he has to do like chores and things like that. And
sort of like chores like that and stuff. And
so he also has a big dilemma on what to do, whether to keep the bear or. Okay, great.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah. Now, Phyllis, it sounds like Marty had some struggles when he was trying to figure out what to do with the dog. What do you think was his biggest challenge throughout the book?
Well, Marty's biggest challenge was that he had to try to find different. He was thinking in his bed one night, and he was trying to figure out solutions of how he can get the dog back or bargain to get the dog back from Judd, because he doesn't want the dog getting hurt, and he just loves the dog, and the dog is very sweet to his family, and his whole family loves him.
Now, you mentioned the character Judd. Can you just explain briefly on who Judd is and how his relationship to Marty?
Well, their relationship, Marty and Judd, they're like rivals, because Marty doesn't like him because he mistreats his dog. He kicks him and mistreats him and hardly even feeds him, so they're really skinny.
So he doesn't want to give the dog back to him.
No, he doesn't want to give the dog back because he sees that he mistreats his other dogs, and he saw that Shiloh has some wounds on him from getting attacked by the dog, but even by getting attacked by Judd.
So he was being mistreated, so he didn't want him to have to send him back.
No.
Okay, great. Now, was there a similar struggle, you think, in your story?
Yes, there was. And yeah.
Now, when Mark realized that he has to make a decision, what were some of his biggest challenges in figuring out what to do with Ben?
Well, his biggest challenge was he didn't know what to do with him, so he would either have to release him into the wild or put Ben down. So he decided that he'll just release Ben into the wild and try to forget about Ben.
Oh, okay. So that kind of leads into my next question, is when Mark finally made the decision to release Ben into the wild, as an author, what were the kind of things that you were trying to convey to the reader about that struggle? Was it something was it a happy ending? Do you think it was an ending what did Mark learn from that?
Well, this ending sort of had two sides. Sort of like a sad ending because he had to let Ben go, and sort of a happy ending because he lives a happy life afterwards. What was that other question you had?
Mainly what was his main, what did he learn from that situation?
Well, he learned that you can't hold on to everything for your whole life. You know, you can have to let something go.
Great. That's a great story to learn. And how about you, Phyllis? How did things get resolved in your book between Marty and Shiloh and Judd?
Can you explain it?
When you had Shiloh when Marty had to finally make the decision on what to do about whether he wanted to give Shiloh back to Judd or how he would figure out a way to keep him. How did that situation end up resolving itself?
Okay, well, that's Marty, he didn't want to give the dog back at all, not even if Judd was nice and turned nice. But he decides that he went down to talk to Judd to make a bargain, and he sees that he has a gun in his hand, and he saw a deer, and that it was out of season, and if you shoot an animal out of season, you can get arrested.
Yeah, that's illegal in many states. Yeah.
But plus that the deer was a doe, a baby.
Oh, yeah.
That was the worst thing about it. So he's like, and then he says will you get? He's starting to talk to him I was talking about thinking about asking you for your dog. And he's like, not in a million years would I give you my dog. And he's like, well, I'm gonna go tell the cops that you killed a deer out of season. He's like, and then he started telling him not to, or else he was threatening him.
So they made a bargain.
So they made a bargain and they switched, but Marty had to work for Judd for 20 days to pay off the dog.
Okay. And then what do you think was the main lesson that Marty learned?
That if you want something and you can get it, because the person really needs it, you should be nice to him and try working off for him and figure out a way to compromise.
Great.
Yes.
And then, well, finally, before we let you go, I recently learned that both of your books won awards. Can you just tell me real quickly the award that your book won?
Well, my book won the Newbery Award.
Okay.
And that's just a book about it had good language in it, and
I believe that's for the most distinguished book.
Yes, for children.
For children's books.
Yes.
Great. And what award did your book win?
My book won the Dutton Children's Animal Book Award.
Great.
And that award's sort of books that explain relations between children and animals. So how children and wildlife connect.
Which explains a lot about the whole plot in your book. Well, great. I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. Have a great evening.
Okay, thank you, Charlie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis.
Okay, yes.
Thank you, Walt.
Thank you for talking to us.
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. And I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. I'm Charlie, and we'll see you next time.